Rob?
My name's Dave Patton. I've just became a member of the Lions in Durham, West Grey. So I have had a bit of knowledge of what has happened in West Grey with the closing of Rockwood. At the time that that first came up, my question to myself was, when is Grey Gables going to be involved? Obviously, about a year later. Now, the next question I have is, when is Lee Manor in Owen Sound going to be involved in this? What about moving beds out of Owen Sound into the facilities down here? Has that been discussed? Is there any sort of a plan to do something with all three buildings? Is that what we should be looking at?
Is that a question?
Yes.
Do you want to answer that? We can put it in the hopper, or you can.
What we did look at is the growth throughout Grey County, and Owen Sound, Georgian Bluffs is the top growth in the county, and the beds are needed in that area, and it was looked at as part of what we did.
That's not what I asked.
So what Lynn said is, yes, they looked at that option, David.
They looked at the option, but that was before they started closing Grey Gables. Now the option is, what happens in Owen Sound if they all of a sudden decide they need the beds in Owen Sound?
So you're recommending that that be relooked at?
I'm recommending that the whole situation
System be looked at.
projected over the next 20 years, which you have done some of the preliminary work on that. I agree with that.
Great.
But again, we're looking at things going for 20 years.
Thank you for raising a new point. We have not heard that before. Thank you. I will come back. Can we be in the middle here?
Hi, I'm Jill McGee. I'm a resident of Grey Highlands for many years. I just want to make a comment for Grey Gables. My mother, Marie Curtis, was one of the first residents of the new Grey Gables Center. And as she was a long-time politician, she had been into many facilities in the Toronto area as a politician. And then when she needed a place to stay after she couldn't be alone, she came to Grey Gables. Grey Gables was wonderful. She loved every minute there. When she first went in, she took part in all the things there was to do, euchre, dancing. She even was the president of the ratepayers of Grey Gables.
That sounds pretty consistent.
It was. And then I just wanted to tell you, she had a wonderful time, but then at the last, when she wasn't well, she was so well cared for and loved by the staff. And this is one of a good reason to have a local place. The people that work there know the residents, know their families, and there's just a little extra care that we get, I think, at Grey Gables. I know probably in Durham too. And my mom always used to tell people when they came, you better get your name in here soon, because if you want to come here, you won't be a place for you. And I just want to say that it's a shame that we're here tonight doing this and wanting to save Grey Gables, because we want it to be there for the rest of us when we need it.
I would like to direct a question. I would like to direct a question to the councillors that are present. You've come here tonight to listen, thank you. But I have one simple question. Will you take what you've heard and act and listen to the wishes of your community here tonight?
I have one back here too, Pat.
Okay.
Hello. Several questions have come to mind for me tonight, and without that information, I can't really process what I've heard. First question I have is, what did it cost to build Grey Gables? What was the cost of the land on which it was built, some of which I think remains vacant and available? What would the proposed sale of Grey Gables, what would that price be? And if we have established that there is a need for assisted care, why not put that to the private sector if they're in the business of making money and allow them to provide the assisted care?
Some of the answers to your questions are available in the Sienna report with the valuations of the property, for sure. And so you're raising a question. I just want to make sure that I get your question or your comment about the link between your questions about the land and the private sector. Were you suggesting we sell land to the private sector at Grey Gables?
That's one way of recovering some funds, if that's what is an objective.
Okay. I just wanted to clarify.
I would just like to know if anybody knows, where does the property that Grey County gave the hospital stand in all of this? Are we going to end up without the hospital too? No? Last night you said you believe. To a lot of questions. That means to me that you don't know.
It has been transferred to the hospital. If I said I believe, it's because I didn't transfer it, but I've been reassured that it has been transferred to the hospital and it is their property.
Another one here, Pat.
Good evening. I was going to be quiet, but unfortunately that's not in my agenda. I'm Ruth Jackson, and I've been around here forever. I remember when it was called the poorhouse, and people did not want to go there. And it's come through some wonderful transitions, and it is now Grey Gables, and my mother was there. And I was the only one close enough that I actually could walk. But I think we're talking somewhere down the road in about 8 years. So if I were to move into Grey Gables tomorrow, my sons would have to travel, one would be 2 hours, the other would be 1 hour. And I figure in 8 years, they won't have to travel anywhere because I will probably be somewhere else. I just want to say that we should be thankful that people are considering a building, I don't care where it's located, as long as people get good care. I've been taking care of people in their houses for, I guess, about 40 years. My goal was to keep one person out of the nursing home for as long as possible. So thank you very much.
Hello, my name is Teresa O'Connor, and I'm a resident of Grey County. My family, I have 4 children, and I've raised them here, and we're all in love with Grey County. My husband's from Grey County, and I'm here because I have something I want to read to you that was given to me by the Grey Bruce Labour Council. The Grey Bruce Labour Council, as the voice of thousands of workers in Grey and Bruce counties, unanimously condemns any action that would move long-term care out of their current communities and/or moves the facility or facilities out of the public ownership domain. It is now well known that the action of privatization of public services is less about actions to save money and improve services and more about submitting to political ideology and dogma. The attached resolution standing ahead of you was unanimously supported by all delegates of the March 27th, 2017 regular meeting of the Grey Bruce Labour Council. The choice to further the privatization course is unacceptable and moreover reprehensible, as it is not in any way defensible by any argument. Should the privatization course in any form move forward, be rest assured that the Grey Bruce Labour Council will ensure that any and all resources are utilized to ensure that a political price is paid for all that act to continue the course of privatization in any of its forms in Grey and Bruce counties. And if anybody wishes a copy of that resolution, just give me your email and I'll send it to you.
Good evening. My name is Rod Knott. I'm a resident of Grey County. I think first thing I want to do is thank the county councillors that have come here tonight to listen to us. I hope they got the message. There was only one message that I have heard. And to the chair, she asked for respect at the first of the meeting, and I think you've got that, and that is necessary. I now ask those councillors, those Grey County councillors, to respect the people that are here downstairs in our community and vote the way the people want to vote. This article, or the slide that was up there where it's 6.2 million of a county fund goes into long-term care. That's right. I'm not questioning that. I would like to know what it was last year and the year before, because you all know a liter of gas cost less last year, it cost more this year, and it's going to cost more next year, along with a loaf of bread and everything else. So dollars are very, very important, but let's not forget our senior citizens. Thank you.
I'm Sherry Swenson. I'm from Markdale. I have one simple little comment. I think Kevin Eccles' position in this represents a conflict of interest. Thank you.
You'll be next. The comment is that a councillor that's here or a mayor that's here has a conflict of interest. It's an opinion. It probably isn't a conflict of interest depending on the rules that you look at. Yes, yes, yes. We have many councillors here, yes, but everyone is welcome to their opinion.
You said about when you combine them that it's going to save between $600,000 and $700,000, yet it's going to create more jobs. What are we going to lose to, that we're going to save all that money?
A lot of it is equipment, operating duplicate services and departments. It's around back office functions, and it's also considering retirements coming up ahead.
It's not an official question. It's not an official question. Would you like to have the microphone?
I'm just making a comment.
Well, let's be respectful.
In Markdale and the people that work there, right? And you're talking about West Grey. Do you know West Grey borders on the edge of Markdale? I live in West Grey. I do all my business in Markdale, right? I don't go to Durham because it's too far. And that's like half of Glenelg. I wonder if they took that in that little circle that they talked about.
So the comment is that, as we've been hearing, that there is a huge impact because of the geography we have on moving the beds out of, and I think we're hearing that loud and clear. Are you okay? All right, all right. Bye. Right. So we're hearing that. Yes. So we're hearing that there's a tremendous impact, and what your point is it's not just on the cost of running the beds, it's on the cost to the people who work there. Sure. Sure. All right. So I have a question here that has been waiting to be asked. Excuse me, just because I have to be consistent, all right?
I don't get the whole. I'm a resident of Chatsworth, and I'd just like to know where in the county I could go to get the detailed financial analysis and all the assumptions, most critically, and underlay them. Because I don't know, if they're on the website, I'll prepare to start there. I agree with this chap behind me, he's right on the money. And if you cannot make a decision to proceed if you don't know what the costs and benefits are and what the impact is going to be on the taxpayer.
As a starting spot, there have been a number of presentations to County Council over the last year. There was a staff report that was done last March. There's also the Sienna report that has quite a lot of financial information, and that has its own link directly on the site. Some of the other numbers, maybe you go back further in time, but that would give you the most current numbers as far as, and it's all part of, and you could also refer to the county's budget and the long-term care section in the county's budget, which would also give you a sense of the operating as well as the contributions from the residents and from the province.
We're just going to try to get, because we're coming to the end of our time, we're going to take questions from people that we haven't heard from before.
I have one here at the back.
All right.
Hi, my name's Dave. I'm from Markdale. My question is, everything seems to be shock and awe every time you turn on the radio or read the paper. And I don't understand the process because I think that people would listen more. They wouldn't be as confrontational if things were done in a smoother, more organized time span. Of course, being from Markdale, everything that's happening here right now is catching everybody, and all we're getting is negative input both ways, and it just kind of disappoints me. That's all I have to say.
My name is David Cox. I live in Grey County, and I just want to reiterate the gentleman over here made a really good point that West Grey, actually if you look out the back of the home, you're in West Grey basically. So, Glenelg is a big part of West Grey, and so when you're talking about the demographics of West Grey being high number of seniors, that's right up against the Grey Gables home. So I don't really understand how that mitigates against Grey Gables being open. The other thing, of course, that being that the fastest growing town in Ontario is 20 minutes down the road. So Shelburne and a lot of people there are going to be looking for places for their loved ones. And I'm sure that Dundalk and then even Markdale, there's going to be growth up here. And people have got to get ready. And I don't think the changes that are proposed are going to be suited well to that as well. If you're thinking about staff coming into work when there's bad weather, it's going to be hard to get right across the county. It's much easier when they live locally, so I think that's an important point to consider as well. Thanks.
Yeah, I'm Bill Fitzsimmons. I'm born and raised here in Markdale, and my grandparents all lived here. We all tribute to the poorhouse and that. And there's one question I would really like filled. There seem to be worried about the seniors doing away with the buildings or doing whatever you have to with that, arguing over the buildings, what we should keep. But yet you go to Owen Sound, you look at the big white elephant they're building on the side of the hill. If they can afford to build that white elephant, they can sure as heck keep these seniors in 2 homes. Thank you.
I attended the meeting in Durham last evening and the one here. I attended the meeting in Durham last night and then the one here tonight. And if you say that you're here to listen to what everybody has to say, I got a consensus from over in Durham that they don't want to see Grey Gables closed. They want us left alone. And then if they need the new home, then let them have the new home. So why can't you do that and have a win-win situation? We keep our facility here in Markdale. You get Durham their new home to bring them up to standard if that's the cheaper way to go. And then you have everybody happy. Our residents are happy.
Hi, my name's Tammy. I'm a resident of Markdale. I also work in a private sector, assisted living, but I also have a mother that lives in Grey Gables. What we need, as far as I'm concerned, first off, I don't see any, there's different needs as far as assisted living and full-time living or care. Markdale right now, the citizens need to be comfortable. The people that live there, they need to move them or move Rockwood. You're uplifting elderly people. That is not right. They're living close to their people. As far as traveling to a job, I do. But you do that. Trying to travel, my mother, that's different. No. We have to look at our residents, not the worries about jobs, and let's keep all three facilities. Keep them in where they are, do what we can to support all three.
Anyone else who hasn't spoken yet that would like to make a comment or ask a question? Yes, Rob.
Thank you. I've changed my mind about my question at least a dozen times. It's difficult not to be emotional. I feel very emotional about this, and I'm sure many people here do as well. We feel strongly about our own facilities. What worries me is that we have been brought together to speak our thoughts and what is in our hearts, and that will be the end of it. I'm concerned because we were told initially Grey Gables will be sold. That's what we first heard. Suddenly they've deferred the decision, and opened it up to public opinion. Public opinion has been given tonight, other nights. I'm wondering who's listening and what will be done about it. Will that be tabled, or is this already a decision that's been made? Thank you.
Just a point of clarification that might make you feel better, is that the recommendations that you saw tonight are only recommendations. They're coming forward from staff, and County Council is now got those recommendations and all the background documents that are available on the website, and they're now coming out to say, we have to have something to react to rather than to say, what are we going to do in a vacuum? So the decision has not been made. It was never made to close Grey Gables. That's a recommendation that it be sold. But that's why we're here tonight, in terms of giving our politicians, the people that we elected, our views on the recommendations that then they will review at County Council. And all of the comments that you've made tonight, the ones we heard in Durham and the people that have submitted things, all of that information will go to your councillors, who we've all elected to make decisions for us. And you have other ways. I want to remind you that you have other ways, and they're still, can we put them back up? They're on the cards as well that are at the door. So if you want to continue to give your ideas, if there's things you thought weren't well represented today, you can continue to do that. All of that information will go to your councillors. This is how the process is working. There's a recommendation, and it's going forward. Are these questions about how to give your This is Grey County Council. You may talk to your own councillors. You can make a delegation to your own councillors in your county. West Grey, Grey Highlands, you can go and talk to those people. They're all part of also Grey County. So this is part of the process tonight, was to give your councillors information, which I think you have done admirably. And I'm going to call the meeting now. And
This
you have
gentleman's
5
had his hand
minutes?
up for
Okay.
a little while. if
According
you
to
don't
my
mind.
watch,
Yeah.
we're finished, but, okay. I can't see it that far away.
I'm Tom Willoughby.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, this gentleman has the floor. Thank you.
I'm Tom Willoughby, a resident of Grey Highlands, and there's a few questions that I think are not answered yet. The Southgate is having a major development in housing. Markdale is also having a major development in housing. We have no jobs here as per se, but people are driven out of Toronto, Brampton, other places because of high cost of living. They want to raise their kids in a reasonable environment and an affordable environment. They are going to require their seniors to come here rather than down there. They will not want to commute any more than they have to. So that's one phase I don't think you've considered in your aging of population. And there's a couple other things. If Grey Gables were to close, you recommended assisted living or in there. Grey Gables is a facility. Why not sell it to a nursing home operator or 2 or 3 in Grey County? That would maintain the status quo of a long-term care facility. But if it has to be, that's the wrong, I don't agree with that, but that is one possibility remaining as a long-term care facility. The other thing I would like to see is the analysis of the Rockwood and Grey Gables, a cost analysis. I know there's in the Sienna report, because I've read it through 3 or 4 times, and it is in there a bit and everything, but you haven't got the cost facility down there. You hadn't mentioned preferred beds or anything. Is there a premium for that? You've not taken that into consideration. And the other thing is, with Grey Gables is a facility. It would be cheaper to add on to Grey Gables than residents of Rockwood. Rockwood residents, unfortunately, are going to have to be displaced. Where are you going to find beds in the county when they're displaced? The recommendation said if you build it on the site, you're going to have to, you'll do the first thing with the kitchen and every other thing and beds above. But there's about, I think you quoted 75 beds.
So I'm just going to call the question and just ask you to go and look at Lynn's report, because the recommendation is building on a new site.
I know.
Yes.
No, I didn't say that.
Mhm.
It said it gave either or.
I think it
So I
says.
would like to see.
All right, so you'd like some more information?
Yeah.
All right, great.
And remember, these are taxpayers' dollars. Yours, mine, all of Grey County. We've got to, the recommendation is great for 161 beds. It is more efficient and everything, but is it necessary? Thank you.
I know. So I think that you have done a good job of giving council a lot of information, and I appreciate you all coming out, and I appreciate that I made a request of all of you, and I didn't have any doubt that we would be able to do that in a respectful way. And please take care on the way out. There are people that are going to be on stairs, and the mayor would like to say something.
Just before you leave, I'd like to take the opportunity to thank everyone for coming out tonight. It's very important that you've taken the time and you care about your community. And I also want to thank the Senate that's along the back, the fellows from the old wardens. And I also want to thank the Grey County staff who are here tonight, who've put this on for everybody. I'll put a round of applause. Again, thank you for being very civil, and this is an opportunity. You spoke very well. I think the word has been out there, the message has been said, so next time it's going to be at County Council. Thank you for that. And you too, Pat.